What is going on? Welcome back to the space where we talk about business, real estate, and all of the good things. Today, I want to talk about money and the beliefs around money. This is top of mind for me right now because I have recently been seeing a lot of these little quips on the interwebs, and this is actually a topic that I have struggled with myself in my professional career, I would say over the past decade and a half. And that probably means that others may have struggled or may currently be struggling with it. And so I want to give you some thoughts that have helped me on my journey. And again, this is all around the beliefs about money. Who am I? My name is Ryan Rice. I'm a full-time real estate investor. I am going to be starting my 5th year here full-time. So I'm 4 years in, and this past year we did $1 million gross plus. And I share all of this stuff with the hopes that it helps you make some more money in your real estate business. But the background on this is, growing up, I was around a lot of people who regularly said things like, money doesn't grow on trees, or, I don't know that I'd want to make much more than $250K a year. I mean, how much money do you really need to make before you're just greedy? And it was always those little comments that stuck with me. And I've always had a desire to be able to live a life, to do whatever it is that I want, and not have money be a reason why I can't do a certain thing. But then when I talk to people like that, who would say those things to me, I would question my own desires, and I would say things to myself like, are you just a greedy motherfucker down deep inside? Do you really need more money? And because I would have those thoughts, I didn't have as crystal clear of an outcome with a great amount of conviction for where I wanted to go. And now that information spreads very quickly, I see more and more comments about how billionaires are evil scum. And, some cases I find that kind of ironic. We'll touch on that in a little bit. But let's take the phrase, money is the root of all evil, which I hear people recite often. And as far as I know, this is pulled from the Bible, Book of Timothy, chapter 6:10. And there's another version of the same, there's a version of the same verse that says, for the love of money is the root of all evil. And then there's yet another version that says, for the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. And for those of you wondering, like I was, about different versions in the Bible, the original language obviously was in English. There's different translations. Anyways, what I like about this phrase is, one, what it doesn't say, which is money is the root of all evil. The actual Bible verse says, for the love of money is the root of all evil. And two, what I like about it is it refers to the love of money being the root of all evil, which implies that one might do unethical things solely because they love money or love pursuing money. And meaning that they're willing to do ethical or unethical things in order to get it, because that's how much they love it. And to me, this is where the important distinction comes in my eyes. For me, money itself is only potential power. Once you have it, you can do whatever you want with it, which includes what some might consider morally bad things. For example, money can build bombs. And I'm not identifying as morally bad. I'm just using it as an example. But money can also build hospitals, which I think most would consider useful. I do think there are many who, quote, love money and therefore pursue it because they love it, and due to their love for it, that person would do anything to get it, which could include things that are harmful to others. I also think and believe, however, that money has the ability to amplify a positive impact that you want to make in the world. You can simply impact more people in more ways if you have more of it. And I think that sole fact is what most money haters miss. Money doesn't change you as a person. It simply amplifies who you are at your core. And so for me, the skill of making or earning money is absent of any moral goodness or moral evil or badness. You exchange a product or service for money, and if the quality of the product or service is much greater than the cost of delivering that service or product, then you can make a lot of money. And that skill is not partial to morally good or morally bad behavior. It's just a skill itself. And whether you act morally or immorally, the skill is what it is. If you are good at it, you can earn money. And so I take this to mean, are there people out there where if they made in excess of $250K a year, like that person would always say to me, would do no good in the world? Well, yes, of course. But you don't have to be one of those people. And therefore, you don't have to adapt a false belief that desiring to make more makes you an evil person. In fact, one could argue the reverse, which is that if you believe that there are many who pursue riches are evil, wouldn't the greatest threat to that evil be you making even more money than them and therefore drowning out their evil output with your good? Right? You see, what I actually believe to be true is that the skill of making substantial money is difficult. It's hard to amass the skill to build something. It's hard to learn how to sell it. It's hard to learn how to lead people. So it's hard to run a business. And the mere fact that 95+% of businesses fail is proof of that. But because of that, I think a lot of people justify their actions of not pursuing to make more money with some sort of moral high ground. In other words, it's easier to say that billionaires are terrible humans than to learn how to become a billionaire. Because after all, the greatest threat to evil billionaires would be morally good multi-billionaires. And there's so many morally good multi-billionaires that all of the evil billionaires are therefore drowned out. Right? But what I believe to be true is that billionaires themselves are not categorically evil. A billionaire is not evil because one is a billionaire. I do think it's possible to be a billionaire and not be obsessed with accumulating material things, especially with the sacrifice of harming others in order to get there. And what I find ironic about negative billionaire talk is that for many, to become a billionaire, you literally have to become obsessed with serving other people, obsessed with what other people want and what they need. And if billionaires were that evil, wouldn't they be obsessed with themselves? Wouldn't they be obsessed with everything other than what others want? I just find that mere fact a little ironic. So I wanted to make this because if you're listening and you're struggling with feeling greedy, if you want to make substantial amounts of income, maybe hearing some of this might help, because I struggled with this. And I do think it's possible to want to make a substantial income and not be a terrible human. They're not one and the same. And in fact, like I said, this quote, billionaires are evil mantra, if it were true, should make actual good people in the world want to be even richer than the evil billionaires so the evil could be drowned out. But again, they don't do that because it's difficult. And that viewpoint is not going to help justify the cush life that person chose and therefore wouldn't be serving them. So very short and sweet. I hope that was helpful to you all. And I simply wanted to relay the fact that there probably are a lot of people out there who want to be rich and are willing to do harmful things, and maybe they're bad people. But there's probably also a lot of people out there who just want to make an impact, and the result or outcome of making that impact is becoming really rich. And what's good is making money doesn't have to be morally good or morally bad. It just amplifies who you already are. And if you are morally good, or if you believe yourself to be morally good, that in and of itself should be motivation enough for you to get so rich that you can drown out the evilness out there that may exist, if you believe that to be true, amongst some of the billionaires out there. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I appreciate it, love you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.